Pfizer and Merck under investigation for colluding with Obama administration on healthcare overhaul. Yeah, for all of you who want to argue the pragmatic points of Obamacare with liberals who still think it's a good idea, this from naturalnews.com. Most Americans have no idea what truly went on behind closed doors during the crafting and illegitimate passing of Obamacare, also formerly known as the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. But a congressional investigation currently underway is seeking to unearth the dirty details, including how drug giants like Pfizer Incorporated and Merck Company greased the financial wheels to make sure their pharmaceuticals received preferential treatment as part of the healthcare overhaul. Is there any surprise about this? I mean, we knew that the Obamacare legislation, as it was written, this monstrous document, hundreds and hundreds of pages, what was it, 1,200 pages, 1,400 pages? Members of Congress didn't write that. They didn't read that. They couldn't read that. It's fucking obscene that they're going to vote for something they haven't even read. But where did all those pages come from? Did some congressional aide dream up all of the random provisions of Obamacare? Did Obama's crack team of legislative assistants come up with this brilliant piece of legislation that was going to make everybody healthy? No. Insurance companies wrote most of it, yeah. So Big Pharma had agreed to provide price discounts on drugs in exchange for them being covered as part of Obamacare. So the government jacks up the prices of those drugs with protectionism, with the intellectual property bullshit around the pharmaceutical industry. And then Big Pharma goes, hey, Obama, we'll give you a little break. We'll give you a little cut rate. We won't extract as much from this bullshit scam if you pay us a heck of a lot more through Obamacare to give people drugs that they don't need. So what they're actually looking for with this inquiry is whether there were other secret deals, and there's a lot of evidence and indication of that. But that's the idea that they got these sweetheart deals, that they wrote the legislation, is that's not even news. And to see that anybody still supports Obamacare, knowing this, that this is out there, that this is the premise of it, that it's the drug companies bribing the government and insurance companies bribing the government to give them favorable legislation, it's obscene. Peter Mitz, Center for Medicine and the Public Interest, said, quote, for Big Pharma, the ACA, Obamacare, is a gift bringing in anywhere between 30 to 40 million people who could not previously afford pharmaceuticals. Oh, great. So we have drugs that don't actually make people healthy, that treat their symptoms, but make us rich when they buy them because they're really expensive. But we have this problem. 30 to 40 million Americans haven't been convinced that they need this bullshit. So we're going to rope them in with Obamacare and provide them to them for free from the government, but have the government pay for them so that they can print more money in order to pay for them, and the working class and lower class are going to end up paying for all of these drugs that they don't need by the inflation tax that they're paying for at the gas pump these days. Yeah, that's the scam. Meanwhile, of course, 26 states are challenging the unconstitutionality of Obamacare, and we had the recent Supreme Court hearings on Obamacare, I should say, rather the arguments for and against, and we're waiting about late June is when we're expected to hear back from the Supreme Court on whether or not Obamacare is constitutional. Of course, the idea that the Supreme Court still has any kind of credibility after, I don't know, 200 years of bad judicial decisions that upholded the Constitution by raping its intent and perverting it in so many ways, I'm not expecting a good outcome. My prediction is that the Supreme Court will say it's constitutional because we believe the government has this power, but you need they're going to send it back to Congress, basically. They say, tweak this a little bit. There's too much, and the point of the Supreme Court is to put it's a brake pad for the government, a brake pedal, if you will. Hey, we got a little ahead of ourselves. We passed some legislation a lot of people's pissed off about. Let's just tap on the brakes a little bit, and we can get them to accept more tyranny and more government control because we're the Supreme Court. So we're going to say that it's constitutional. We're going to make an argument for it. We're going to demonstrate that, but we're going to exercise our authority just to maintain our credibility, and we're going to send it back to Congress, or we're going to make some minor modifications, or we're going to strike down just this part or just that part. That's what's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll be looking forward to that. But there is a potential nullification of Obamacare at the state and federal levels that would nullify the special deals between the White House and Big Pharma. But what's really interesting to see is how Obama is so ingeniously using this as a power broker to get more money for his reelection. Because guess what? Even though Obamacare passed as this giant scheme that would help out Big Pharma, that would allow them to sell so much more in pharmaceutical drugs that don't make people healthy, is that he's also turning around and taking money from various corporations and different entities that want waivers to Obamacare. And a lot of the list is ridiculous now of the major corporations in America that have bribed the Obama administration in order to be able to opt out of Obamacare. But hey, no one said Obama was dumb. Just that he was an evil, conniving son of a bitch who doesn't give a fuck about your health, only maintaining his own power. And that's Obamacare for you.